I'm going to present on best practices in environmental cleaning, disinfection and monitoring of clean rooms, a microbiological approach. What is clean room? Series of rooms designed to meet the criteria and to control required temperature, differential pressure, relative humidity, airborne particulate counts, and also the microbiological parameters. So it is basically clean room is not a single room. It is a sequence of rooms, series of rooms. You can't construct a room here and by maintaining the requirements, it cannot be a clean room. There will be a gradual sequence so that the clean room and the requirements can be met. These are some of the guidelines and wherein they are defining the what exactly is clean room. Area classification. So clean rooms are classified basically into class 100, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh. And this is very important part of the presentation, wherein if you understand this table, the next part of the presentation will be understood well. Moreover, this table speaks everything about the clean room. If you understand this table, you understood 50% of the clean room aspects. And clean rooms are defined in US FDA. As per US FDA, they are defined as class 100, 1000, 10,000 and 1 lakh. Whereas ISO, class 100 is called as ISO 5. Class 1000 as 6, class 10,000 as ISO 7, class 1 lakh as ISO 9, and ISO 9 is not defined as per US norms. Whereas as per European Union EU guidelines, grade A, B, C, D. ISO 5 is called as grade A, ISO 7 as grade B, ISO 8 as grade C, and ISO 9. So this is the comparison among different regulatory agencies. So there is a confusion among the pharma colleagues wherein what is grade B or grade C. So grade C is equivalent with which class of US. So always there is a confusion among the pharma colleagues, and this table will speak about and will give the solution for the confusions. Class 10,000 in operation is equivalent with grade B. Class 1 lakh in operation is equivalent with grade C. So henceforth, in the next slides to come, I will be discussing on grade A, B, C, D, so that you can correlate with the ISO 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10,000. So these clean rooms are designed, as I said in the previous slide, these clean rooms are designed as per the particulate counts and microbial limits. Other than temperature, RH and differential pressure, these are the critical parameters, that is airborne particulate count and the microbial limits are the critical parameters which will define the clean room. Say grade A, the particulate limit for grade A is 3520, followed by grade B it is 35200 and so on. For grade C it is 3520 and 000. These are the limits, and then if these particulate parameters, which is the particulates less than 0.5 greater than 0.5 micron particles per meter cube are measured, they should meet this limit. And microbial limits. For microbial mounting, 4 types of methods are followed: settle plate, active air sampling, contact plates, and surface mounting. Settle plates are monitored for 4 hours with 90 mm plate, and the limits are: for grade A it is less than 1, for grade B it is 5, for grade C it is 50, and for grade D it is 100. Accordingly, for active air sample, it is less than 1 for grade A, 10 for grade B, 100 for grade C, and 200 for grade D. And for contact plates, grade A is less than 1, grade B is 5, grade C is 25, and grade D is 50. And this glove print and fingers, this is personal mounting, wherein the clean room personnel are monitored accordingly. So for grade A it is less than 1, for grade B it is 5, and other grades are not defined. And moreover, the first pic which is representing is for settle plate exposure. For 4 hours the plate will be exposed. And the second pic is about the non-viable particulate counter, which is portable, and the instrument which is used for air sampling, the last but one. So this table speaks about the classification of a clean room and their comparison with different US, ISO and EU. So accordingly, in ISO it is 56789, EU it is ABCD. So clean room personnel. The most contamination in the clean room is attributed to the personnel present. So the best practices shall be: contact the sterile materials with sterile instrument only, walk slowly and deliberately, don't come in the path of unidirectional airflow, and so on. And these are the different types of garments used in different classified areas. That is grade A, B, C, D. The description of clothing required for each grade is given below. Grade D, hair and where relevant beard should be covered. A general protective suit and appropriate shoe or overshoes should be worn. For grade C, hair and where relevant beard and mustache should be covered. Single or two-piece trouser suit gathered at the wrist and the high neck, and appropriate shoes and overshoes should be worn. Whereas I think the slide is not, there is a criteria for grade A and B also, wherein the entire headgear should be there, and there should be a boiler suit, and then entire body should be covered along with the goggles. So for clean room monitoring, there are different parameters to be monitored, as I discussed earlier. That is temperature, relative humidity, differential pressure. So accordingly, the differential pressure among the clean room should be maintained. The cleanest room should have more positive pressure compared with the less cleaner areas. And generally the differential pressure should be around 10 to 15 pascals should be maintained with the adjacent rooms, so that the air flows from cleanest room to lowest cleaner areas. The positive pressure differential should be maintained. And one more important parameter for clean room maintenance is the air changes. Clean room, so it is very important design parameter of the clean room, wherein for grade C, which is termed as class 1 lakh or ISO 8, they are designed to meet minimum 20 air changes per hour. So we should maintain minimum 20 air changes. That means every 1 hour the external air, filtered air should be replaced with the inside air. So for ISO 7, which is grade B, minimum 50 air changes should be maintained per hour, and whereas for ISO 5, that is grade A, and more than 100 air changes per hour should be maintained. For this, during a single hour period, if we take an example of ISO 5, that is grade A, 100 air changes means in a given point of time, in that particular 1 hour, fresh air, 100 cycles of fresh air coming from the external environment through a filtered process. And these are the center one is the Magnelli gauge, which measures the differential pressure, and that is the top one is the high efficiency filter, HEPA filter, and this is the AHU duct. And environmental cleaning. Cleaning in the context of pharmaceutical, what is cleaning? So in the pharma industry, the cleaning is defined as removing of dirt and residues, grease kind of things, and any residues on the equipment or facility. Removal process is called as cleaning. And cleaning, as described above, cleaning should be done prior to the disinfection. So, and then before disinfection, cleaning should be done. Otherwise, the disinfection process will not be effective. These are some of the cleaning techniques used. Equipment cleaning. Equipment cleaning can be achieved by CIP, that is clean in place, or SIP, which is steam in place. So, alkali based disinfectants are commonly used for CIP systems. Sodium hydroxide is almost widely used cleaning agent in the industry. Hand sanitization. Hand sanitization is a process wherein the gloved hands are sanitized with the alcohol based sanitizing agents, and most commonly used sanitizing agents are alcohol based, that is isopropyl alcohol or ethanol. And hands must be washed with water or soap before sanitizing, so that the sanitization process will be effective enough. And these are some of the materials or equipments used for sanitization, and this is the CIP system. Disinfection of clean rooms. What is disinfection of a clean room? Disinfectant is an agent which destroys vegetative cells of any form of bacteria or any form of microorganisms. And one more type of disinfectant which is called as sporicidal agent. These sporicidal agents will also kill the spore forming bacteria and spore forming other microorganisms, including vegetative cells. And to be effective, the disinfectant should be tested and qualified. The disinfectant efficacy test is the method wherein the efficiency of the disinfectants will be evaluated. In this case, there are two types of procedures followed. that is use dilution method, and other one is the surface challenge test. In the use dilution method, required disinfectants with specific concentrations are challenged with microorganisms, and that efficacy will be known. And the concentration which is more effective will be used for surface challenge test on the surfaces which are available in the actually present in the clean rooms. Say example, SS surfaces, epoxy surfaces, and all other surfaces which are there, wherein we challenge the disinfectant on the surface and along with the microorganisms. Generally, 10 to the power of 8 bacterial cells are challenged on a surface, and whereas for fungi it is 10 to the power of 7 CFU. And the expected log reduction is minimum 3 log reduction for bacteria and 2 log reduction for spore formers. And how it is achieved? So this method, wherein the surface challenge test will demonstrate whether this disinfectant is effective. If effective, how many log reduction is there? So log reduction is one log reduction is a reduction of microorganisms up to 90% level. So these disinfectants will not eradicate or remove all microorganisms. They will reduce the number of microorganisms present to certain logs. Thank you. The contact time of disinfectant is very much important, wherein during the disinfectant validation or efficacy of the disinfectants, the contact time will be evaluated, and if any disinfectant applied on a surface should be hold for a validated contact time. And cleaning and disinfection is the key part of the contamination control in the clean rooms. Generally, the disinfectants which are validated should be rotated in a clean room, because if we keep on using the single disinfectant, there is a possibility of microbial resistance to the disinfectant. So these disinfectants should be rotated at least once in a week. So generally around 2 to 3 disinfectants will be rotated in a pharmaceutical facility. There are different types of disinfectants. One is non-oxidizing disinfectants, for example, alcohols, aldehydes, phenolics, and quaternary ammonium compounds. And the oxidizing disinfectants are hydrogen peroxide, peroxides, all those are oxidizing disinfectants. Looks like the slide regarding oxidizing disinfectants, there is a content. I think the slide is not fitting into this. You can't see that oxidizing disinfectant content actually. And these are the various modes of disinfection processes. Cleaning and disinfection in pharmaceutical industry should be with a defined SOP. The SOP should cover list of cleaning agents, procedure for preparation of disinfectants, frequency of rotation of disinfectants, contact times and cleaning techniques, and frequency of cleaning and disinfection, and holding time of the disinfectants or detergents. Generally, during the disinfectant efficacy testing, the whole time of the disinfectant will be evaluated. If we are preparing the disinfectant today, you can't hold it for days together. There is a study called as hold time validation. During the preparation, after the preparation, how many days it can be held. Generally, the disinfectants are held for a week or so after the preparation, and then during the preparation they will be filtered through 0.22 micron filter, so that the microorganism present, if any, in the disinfectant will be eradicated. And one more important part of disinfection process in the clean room is VHP sterilization and biodecontamination. What is VHP sterilization? VHP sterilization is a vaporized hydrogen peroxide, wherein the hydrogen peroxide, which is oxidizing agent, will form into a dry vapor, and it spreads throughout the facility and kills the microorganisms present. In the previous slide, we were discussing about the disinfectants wherein the log reduction, that is the reduction of microorganisms, will be up to around more than 3 log reduction. Whereas this vaporized hydrogen peroxide will attain a kill rate up to 6 log, more than 6 log reduction. So it is equivalent with sterilization. More than 6 log reduction means equivalent with an autoclaving process, a sterilization process. So that means the probability of one microorganism 1 million will be there. During this VHP sterilization process, the vapors will be spread throughout the clean rooms, and the biological indicators, more than 10 to the power of 6 cells, will be challenged, and the efficacy will be evaluated. And this is the recent and technology, wherein since last decade or otherwise since 3-4 years, this technology is the pharma industry started using this, and this is very effective mode of disinfecting the clean rooms, and I think this is the future of the clean rooms for disinfection. This is the portable aerosol, that is hydrogen peroxide vapor generator, and then nowadays many vendors, they are injecting the hydrogen peroxide into the AHU system itself, that is into the ducts of AHU, air handling units, so that this vaporized hydrogen peroxide for decontamination will enter through the ducts of the AHU and through the filters, and it will circulate entire clean room, and then even while exhausting, it will pass through the returns of AHU also, so that there will be efficient way of disinfecting the clean rooms. Now the important part of the presentation is the microbial monitoring of environment, that is the environmental monitoring program. Till now we have discussed about the cleaning and disinfection of the clean rooms. Now it is about the monitoring. This environmental monitoring will demonstrate how the clean rooms are performing. One can design a clean room with all required parameters, but maintaining it is a critical parameter. So these monitoring will demonstrate how the clean rooms are maintained and the efficiency of cleaning and disinfection, which we have discussed in the previous slides. The purpose of environmental monitoring is to evaluate the state of control of the facility. Environmental monitoring data will provide the information of quality of the manufacturing environment. The effectiveness of cleaning and sanitization is assessed through environmental monitoring. And one more purpose is environmental monitoring is one of the several key elements required in order to ensure that clean rooms are maintained in adequate state of control. And this clean rooms monitoring or environmental monitoring is a process wherein to evaluate the quality of the clean room, quality of the area, not the quality of product. These are some of the clean room areas wherein displayed on these pictures. During routine monitoring of a clean room, there are monitoring, some of the parameters are monitored, among them temperature, differential pressure, airborne particulate count, relative humidity, and viable monitoring is performed in a routine process at defined frequencies. And generally, the temperature in clean room should be around 19 to 25. However, it depends on the nature of product. For some products, the temperature requirement may be around 15 degrees, or it depends on the nature of products where it is stable. However, the temperature for clean room area is around 19 to 25. And the differential pressure is the adjacent clean rooms with different classification should be a pressure differential of 10 to 15 Pascal should be maintained, and RH should be 55 plus or minus 5 relative humidity, 55 to 60, so that majority of the products are stable at that relative humidity RH. And for some products, the relative humidity specific requirements are there. For example, if we take the example of potassium clavinate, amoxicillin potassium clavinate, wherein which is an antibiotic, amoxicillin potassium clavinate, the clavulanic acid, clavulinate potassium requires an RH of 25%. There, specially designed clean room should be there for RH. However, the RH for regular general clean rooms is 55 plus or minus 5. For some products, there is a specific requirement. And these are the particulate count limits, and this is the particle counter, which is airborne particulate counter, which is portable one. And there are online particulate counters which are fixed in the line itself. However, we are demonstrating this portable one. And these are the different classes and grades and their respective particulate limits. Generally, the particulates of above 5 micron will be considered for clean room. And both particulates and microbial monitoring plays a major role in maintaining a clean room. Selection of sampling locations. For environmental monitoring, that is microbiological monitoring, the selection of sampling locations is a critical parameter, wherein during the selection, the process of selection is done by extensive observation, careful observation of clean rooms and mapping of clean rooms, where exactly are the personnel involved and where are the equipments placed. All those mapping will give the locations where they should be identified. And following are some of the considerations made for identifying the locations, selecting the sampling locations for microbiological monitoring. So the main parameters considered for, or otherwise the consideration to be made for finalizing and selecting the sampling locations are potential for microbial presence, airflow patterns, proximity to testing, product contact surfaces, extent of product exposure, potential to impact product quality, personal flow, qualification data, high traffic areas, material flow, waste flow, surfaces that are difficult to disinfectant, and HVAC returns. And I will give one example out of all this, wherein this slide speaks about selection of sampling locations for microbial monitoring, wherein worst case sites where there is a higher possibility of microorganisms. And return air rises, HVAC returns are the one of the worst case. All these mentioned things are worst case scenario where higher quantity or the microorganisms are suspected more. However, I am giving one example, that is return air grills, wherein the supplied filtered air will circulate throughout the clean room and it will return through the return air grills. That is worst case scenario, wherein if we expose the plates there or perform the environmental monitoring there, we will get the maximum worst case scenario results. As the sampling locations are finalized, now it comes to the monitoring, microbial monitoring. So the media used for microbial monitoring is SCDA, soybean casein digest agar, wherein which recovers and it is capable of allowing all types of general purpose media which allows the growth of majority of bacteria, fungi and yeast. And it is a general purpose media which is widely used. And the incubation conditions for environmental monitoring plates include, that is 20 to 25 degrees initially, followed by 30 to 35 later. That is initially the plates are incubated at 20 to 25 degrees for 72 hours, followed by 30 to 35 degrees for further 48 hours. Overall 5 days, the incubation period is for 5 days. However, there is another scenario followed, which is single temperature, wherein the plates can be, that is environmental microbiological monitored plates or samples can be incubated at single temperature also. The temperature range can be from 20 to 35. However, dual temperature incubation, that is initially lowest followed by highest, is the ideal scenario, wherein all types of microorganisms can be recovered, and moreover the environment where the area which we are monitoring is with a temperature range of 20 to 25. If we incubate at the same temperature, so the favorable conditions, the injured microorganisms, if any, will be recovered. And these are some of those plates are used for microbial monitoring. Third one, that is settle plate. There are 4 types of microbial monitoring methods, that is settle plate, active air sampling, surface sampling and personal monitoring. That is settle plate exposure, that is also called as passive air monitoring, which is a qualitative way of monitoring the environment. 90 mm plates are used for monitoring and for 4 hours duration, wherein it is expected that around 1000 liters of air is passing through those plates with 90 mm capacity. However, it is a qualitative way. And the first picture is about the plate which is used for settle plate method, and after incubation those are the colonies observed on the plate. There are different types of colonies. It may include yeast and molds also. And the third peak is air sampler, which is used for active air sampling, and 1000 liters of air is monitored by active air sampling, which is a qualitative way. Air sampling is for air sampling, one instrument is used which is called as air sampler, and 1000 liters of air, that is 1 meter cube of air, is monitored in certain duration of time. Generally the monitoring duration is around 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Surface monitoring. One of the method of monitoring the surfaces is by contact plate, wherein 55 mm contact plates are used for monitoring the surfaces, wherein this surface monitoring is done by using SCDA media, which is also a general purpose media which is capable of recovering wide variety of microorganisms, that is bacteria, yeast and molds, and surface monitoring is done at the end of the activity, because this surface monitoring, if you are monitoring, so you are touching the media on the surface. So after the activity, worst case scenario, this monitoring will be done. And these are the different plates, 55 mm plates used for monitoring. These are the peaks, how the surfaces are monitored. One more monitoring method is personal monitoring by Rodak plate method, wherein the garments, the gowning, including the gloves will be monitored of the personnel who have worked in the environment and by Rodak plates. And these Rodak plates are of 55 mm size. Rodak means replicate organism detection and counting, wherein if we sample a gown or a glove, so the organisms which are present on a particular location will be replicated. So a replica of the organisms will be grown. One of the example is shown there, wherein if you keep an hand on a plate, after incubation that is replicated as such. So for that purpose Rodak plates are used, which is of 55 mm size. And these are the frequencies of environmental monitoring, wherein for grade A it is for settle plates are each operational shift, and grade B it is twice in a week, grade C once in a week, and grade D once in a month. And for active air sampling, each operational shift grade A, twice in a week grade B, once in a week grade C, and similarly for grade D it is once in a month. Surface monitoring, as I said in the previous slide, it is at the end of operation, and personal monitoring at every exit in the sterile manufacturing areas. And these are some of the guidelines. These are the guidelines for good manufacturing practices of clean rooms.